Scott Carne, Kids in the Kitchen, are back with real life to play a Melbourne doubleheader this Saturday night coming at the Old Chasers. Tell me about how that's come about.
Well, we were actually asked by Chasers to do the show. That was their 40th year celebration, and we were a bit of a fixture of Chasers in the old days. Well, actually, I was. It used to be my old stomping ground after gigs and before gigs, and I thought it'd be a good idea to put the show on with the two bands.
In the 80s, Kids in the Kitchen were an absolute pop sensation here, as everybody knows. And you bubbled onto the American airwaves before you split up after just 2 albums.
Look, honestly, we weren't managed very well in hindsight, and we were burnt out pretty much. And management was kept us working, for 6 to 7 days a week for long periods of time. And I think by the end of it, it kind of put a bit of bad taste in one's mouth. Young fellas running on empty. No one told us to drink water back then. No one knew about rehydration in the 80s. Should have just basically benched ourselves for a while and got back on the bike after that. But, the 80s was kind of a bit of a crash and burn period for a lot of acts. If you look at it, some came through it, but a majority were kind of, did their time, and that was it.
So you had 28 years apart and reformed again in 2016. How did the reformation come about?
In the early, pretty much 2006 it was, Brian Mannix and I kind of decided to get together and put together a super group of singers from the 80s, and then we kind of started the show Absolutely 80s, which has been going 13 years now. We were toying with the idea of kind of getting back and doing just a couple of shows, Kids in the Kitchen, and then we were offered the Culture Club Australian tour, so we did that. We've just done a couple of selected shows since 2006. We're kind of trying to keep it special.
Indeed. What sort of audience are you expecting? Are you expecting the kids of the 80s to rock on down, or are you expecting
generally the shows we've been doing, it's people that kind of grew up with us, really. A lot of them too were, you got to remember back in the early days were kind of underage as well. So a lot of them didn't get a chance to go to a nightclub or a venue and see it. So there's a good portion of fans that were underage. They're finally legal now.
When you're not out there doing Kids in the Kitchen, you're doing the Absolute 80s show. I saw that you're playing Hoppers Crossing on Saturday the 8th of December, and you're doing a big New Year's Eve gig as well in Chadstone.
That show, the Absolutely 80s show, is pretty much just all the big hits, a couple of 80s covers and some what we call, a few all-in brawls at the end of the night. So it's a bit more showbiz, where Kids in the Kitchen's kind of the real deal, where we're just going to play those album tracks and as well as the hits, and it's definitely a show for the fans.